She's a whisper in the halls, a hunger that she must feed. A puppet master planting every seed. Cobra commander dances on her strings. She relishes in all that her scheming brings. She moves like a shadow through the sky in the midnight air. A queen in black leather no one can compare. Eyes like a fiery storm, lips crimson with sin. You think you can best her, let the games begin. All the world's a chessboard, every piece in play. She'll expertly send her troops into the fray. That's her steel and fire, her perfect muse. Together they build a future they alone can choose. She's the Baroness with a seductive kiss, a weapon of beauty, a force you can't resist. She'll crush G.I. Joe, leave him in the dark. Potential by his side, she ignites the spark. The Baroness, no mercy she'll show. A temptress is not she'll only ever dream to know. Dream to know. Born from the ashes of a noble house, with an inner flame that's not soon to douse. Her spirit is restless and her heart runs deep. If only she'd take more time to sleep. She breathed in Destro's fire, his steel heart beats for her. Their passion's a weapon, dangerous and pure, but only to others do their swords unsheathe. If only they could be true to themselves and show what lies beneath. All the world's a chessboard, every piece in play. She'll expertly send her troops into the fray. That's her steel and fire, her perfect muse. Together they build a future they alone can choose. She's the Baroness with a seductive kiss, a weapon of beauty, a force you can't resist. She'll crush G.I. Joe, leave him in the dark. Potential by his side, she ignites the spark. The Baroness, no mercy she'll show. A temptress is not she'll only ever dream to know. Dream to know. I'll open your eyes to the truth. I'll twist your empire into my vermouth. Destro's the fire that fuels my reign, and G.I. Joe will drown in pain. She's the Baroness, seductive kiss, a weapon of beauty, a force you can't resist. She'll crush G.I. Joe, leave him in the dark. Potential by his side, she ignites the spark. The Baroness, no mercy she'll show. A temptress is not she'll only ever dream to know. Dream to know. Oh, the Baroness, she'll never bow. Her laughter echoes, hear it now. A queen of chaos, her empire grows in shadows and flames. The Baroness knows. Oh, she knows. She knows. She knows.
You don't listen, no, I've got a story to tell about a guy named Logan, who's so swell. He's the G.I. Joe gamer, cool and weird, talking about those characters, heroes and villains. At midnight we shout, yo Joe, or Cobra, talking like a Joe team and a Cobra tie. Joe's got snake eyes, a silent ninja in black. Quick with his swords, he'll give you a heart attack. Then there's two the leader, so bold, gung-ho, always ready to fight and make those cameos. And we can't forget about Scarlet, the ultimate girl power. A fierce warrior, she'll make her enemies cower. Cobra's got Destro to supply the weapons.
Greetings. I'm Christopher Logan Hilt, and today on Joe Takes, we're taking a look at the Baroness. We'll start right where I got away with her figure. I do have a vintage Baroness. She was technically my second Joe in my collection. Her and Shipwreck I got at the same time. I don't know, maybe she could be the first, but like I said already in other videos, I already had a Cobra Trooper and a Cobra Officer, but I didn't even know what they are when I originally bought them. I didn't really realize I had them until about 6 months after I started actually collecting. But my Baroness figure is in really rough shape. I tried to slip a new O-ring in here, but the screw in her back is rusted out and stripped. So in order to fix her, I'm going to have to drill that out and do a bunch of repair work. That may or may not work on such an old figure. And she has stress marks on her leg, and I don't even know if that's coming on the video, but I think I'm just going to leave her as is and pick up a new Baroness figure. But I do have another vintage example, technically. In '97, they brought out a Cobra Command 3-pack. And I got the Baroness in that. And this Baroness figure is really nice. It had a lot of paint details where the original didn't. I do like the black better, but this blue figure was kind of nice. Now this came in that pack that in the first few they actually had what they call the Pimp Daddy Destro with the leopard print, but I didn't get that one. I got the one that they released later. And it had that weird looking armored Cobra Commander, which isn't a bad figure, but so I have those. Now, in this pack, she only came with her rifle. Now, originally, the original Baroness came with not just her rifle, but this really cool Cobra backpack. I don't know. Maybe my hat will actually come in handy today. And for some reason, I was looking through my old stuff, and I have a second one, but I think it's from a newer figure that came with like maybe from the early 2000s or something, and I definitely had the Cobra pack, Cobra accessory weapons pack, so I have that backpack. Now, she in the 25th anniversary line, I got that 5-pack with the Baroness and Cobra Commander and Storm Shadow Destro, and it was kind of weird, but the Stinger driver, I actually got 2 of those. But I opened them up because I wanted the extra Stinger driver for whatever reason. But this Baroness, when it came out, this was an homage to the original, which is actually closer to this figure, ironically enough. But it's in a lighter blue, sort of like she looked like the Menace of the Mass Device in her appearance, and that, and in issue 1 of G.I. Joe, this right here. But they also came out with the Baroness in the retro line, and these are the 2 carded examples I have. Let's get the glare off that. I thought this was a really well done figure. I like this one. I do have one out, but I've moving stuff around and I didn't have access to my Baroness right now. So my retro figures are, I need to reorganize them and put them in their own bag. But the movie figure Baroness came out, and she's pretty good. The only issue I have with this Baroness figure is her extremely long, let's get it, neck. But they kind of covered it up with like a black choker collar. That looks okay. This box art though is really decent, and she looks pretty good. It looks very close to the actress who played her in the Snake Eyes movie, which a lot of people hate on that movie, but it was okay. I thought it was a Storm Shadow movie, really, not a Snake Eyes movie, but that made her number 19 in the series. But that takes us to the classified, and I ended up getting one of these when they finally Target re-released them, and the box art on this was just really dynamic. And of course, if you seen the if you're checking the video out, you've seen the thumbnail, and she's on that. I've got the box art on that. I actually really like this big old box, and the Baroness came with this massive bike, this motorcycle. Now, when I first saw this, I was like, "Oh, that looks like a cheap little hollow piece of plastic." But once I got it in hand, it's actually pretty hefty. I like these guns that she can actually use in her hands or off the bike. The handlebars actually move, and it actually moves the front wheel, which is pretty cool. I'm glad they did that. The details on this bike aren't bad, and at first glance it looks cool, and then but it looks hollow, but it's not. It's actually a really solid. It's a really solid piece of plastic, and it's a really good hefty toy. But for us adult collectors, what's important is that it's not a cheap hollow thing, and it wasn't that. It was actually pretty well done. I liked the fact that this windshield moves and adjusts a little bit to the character. So if she's laying down, she can actually use it for cover. I liked a lot of things about this bike. I was surprised because I really didn't think I was more interested in just getting the Baroness. Now, I liked the fact that she came with this helmet. And at first, I was like, "Well, why? I mean, why didn't they just put a helmet on her and make it so it fit over her head?" But the way her head is designed on this classified figure, it's kind of a homage to the vintage figure. It's kind of thick plastic, and it's form-fitting to her head. So putting a helmet on her head wouldn't have been all that practical. So the idea of putting a separate head was kind of neat. Also, if a collector wanted to, they could actually army build the Baroness in the coil cycle and have the Baroness with like an entourage or a bunch of bodyguards, and have a bunch of female Cobra troopers wearing just these helmets. And that would be pretty cool, but I haven't seen anybody doing that. I mean, there's probably somebody who did it, but I haven't seen it. Now, she came with some interesting accessories. This snake pistol, I'm actually thinking more of it like it's a drone, and she can send it off to attack, or she could use it handheld like I've got here, and how it shows on the box art. She's got these two golden pistols that fit in these holsters on the back, which is pretty cool. I like the way this belt is right here with the Cobra symbol, and then the Cobra symbol on her chest definitely is an homage to the original Baroness, and I do like the leather look to this figure. This Cobra dagger, it's kind of small. I dropped it, of course, with my big old fingers. But the handle of it has a little Cobra snake head, and I thought that was kind of neat. When you put it back in, you got to make sure it's going the right way. You would think that the snake head would be the other way, but it kind of goes in. To me, it's kind of backwards, but maybe it's because I'm left-handed. As far as the Baroness and where she fits in the Cobra hierarchy, I kind of see that her as, most of the time, kind of being the second in command, whether she's just with Cobra Commander. She never really was second in command with Serpentor. That kind of fell to Dr. Mindbender. Well, you know, he kind of created Serpentor, so Serpentor, I think, in a lot of ways, felt almost like Dr. Mindbender was his father. I don't know. They had kind of a weird dynamic because Serpentor was definitely lorded it over him. But one of the coolest comic books was the Cobra Civil War. And this is one of my favorite comics, especially the cover, where the Baroness is all trussed up on a Hiss tank. And this comic, I love the scene where where Hawk was asking if somebody submitted a complaint to Serpentor about his treatment of prisoners, and Cutter said, I'm pretty sure it was Cutter, who said submitted and ignored. I thought that was really cool. Larry Hama is an exceptional writer, and I really love his original run on G.I. Joe. I like the IDW stuff too. It's pretty good, but I don't really have any memorable Baroness moments in the IDW series like I did in the original. I mean, there were a lot, especially with the Snake Eyes Origin series in the 90s, which naturally I had sold some of that because it happens sometimes in life where you have to sell some things, but I wouldn't mind trying to get some of that back. But I originally got it when it came out. I had a comic subscription, and it was a lot of fun, that run with the Baroness versus Snake Eyes, really. In the comic book, I really enjoy the Baroness, but in the Sunbow series, she was definitely interesting. She was kind of their Mission Impossible character, always having a different disguise each episode that she was in for the most part. And ironically enough, her and Lady J used to disguise themselves as each other in the cartoon all the time. As far as my favorite Baroness episode, I actually think that's in the second season, and that would have been, to me, $1 Million Medic, where she kind of took over for Tomax and Zaymont and went after Lifeline and Reva and Lark, the girl that was trying to date him, and that was a really interesting episode. I really liked the arc with the Baroness in the Operation Dragonfire when it went over to the Deke series, where she brought Cobra Commander back, and there was a whole bit where Destro dumped her for Zorana. It was kind of weird. Clearly, the writers of that didn't really know the Destro character very well, but it was still interesting and fun. And the way I see that is in the Devil's Due or Image series. For a while there, Destro was actually Destro's son, and so I'm thinking that Destro, he was pretending to be Destro, and the Baroness didn't know. And that's how he got around with her figuring it out that he was him. And then by the end of that, Destro was back, and it was really him and not his son. I don't know. It's fun to speculate about stuff like that. The Baroness, though, in the Cobra hierarchy, like I said, I see her as second in command. And during the Civil War, she was actually second in command to the imposter Cobra Commander, Fred the Seventh, the Crimson Guard who had shot Cobra Commander. And that was an interesting dynamic between the two of them throughout that whole saga, where they were kind of a couple, but they weren't. They really didn't like each other, but yet they liked the power and the position that each other gave themselves. But yeah, the Baroness, she really was able to have some influence in both the comics and in the cartoon. Right from the get-go, even in the first issue of G.I. Joe, the Baroness was right there with Cobra Commander and his troops. It was Baroness and Cobra Commander. That was Cobra originally. Destro and all them didn't come along till later in the comics. And then now in the cartoon, Destro and Major Blood were right there. A lot of people see Major Blood as the original go-to Cobra troop leader, but I prefer the Baroness. She was definitely more interesting and more fun. I had Major Blood, as a kid, but Baroness, I guess probably because she was my real first Cobra character and not a trooper. But the Baroness is to me a lot of fun, and I enjoy this classified figure a lot. A lot of people like it, and they don't really care for the movie figure. But it wasn't a bad figure. I like the two knives that she came with, and her rifle. At least she came with a rifle. I mean, I know that the coil cycle has the two rifles, with one on either side that Baroness could take off and use, but it really wasn't the same as her iconic rifle from back in the day. I mean, they could have easily done a rifle like this. Now I know that the retro Baroness is out, but I don't know if she comes with a rifle like this. I think she just comes with like the 2 pistols and the knife, like she did on this. But I haven't really checked that out. I've looked at it a little bit, and I noticed that the glasses come off, but there's like in one side or the other, there's a slot for where her glasses slide in, and it looks kind of bad. So you'd leave the glasses on all the time. So what would be the point of taking them off if you when you take them off, it looks like an incomplete figure. I don't know why they did that. I'm probably going to pick one up for my wall like I did with the extra gung-ho I have. But yeah, that's the Baroness, and I really like the Baroness, and I hope you enjoyed this video. And with that all being said, Logan out.
She's a whisper in the halls, a hunger that she must feed. A puppet master planting every seed. Cobra commander dances on her strings. She relishes in all that her scheming brings. She moves like a shadow through the sky in the midnight air. A queen in black leather no one can compare. Eyes like a fiery storm, lips crimson with sin. You think you can best her? Let the games begin. All the world's a chessboard, every piece in play. She'll expertly send her troops into the fray. Dust, steel and fire, her perfect muse. Together they build a future they alone can choose. She's the Baroness with a seductive kiss, a weapon of beauty, a force you can't resist. She'll crush G.I. Joe, leave him in the dark. Protect her by his side, she ignites the spark. The Baroness, no mercy she'll show. A temptress is that she'll only ever dream to know. Dream to know. Born from the ashes of a noble house, with an inner flame that's not soon to douse. Her spirit is restless and her heart runs deep. If only she'd take more time to sleep. She breathes in Destro's fire, his steel heart beats for her. Their passion's a weapon, dangerous and pure, but only to others do their swords unsheathe. If only they could be true to themselves and show what lies beneath. All the world's a chessboard, every piece in play. She'll expertly send Cobra. Code name Baroness. Cobra Intelligence Officer. File name Anastasia Decker Break. Birthplace classified. Primary specialty intelligence. Secondary specialty fixed wing pilot. Qualified expert M60. Steam AK-47 RPG-7 Uzi is tank operator. The Baroness was the spoiled offspring of European aristocratic parents who made sure that she and her brother Eugen had the best of everything in life. During the time of the Southeast Asian conflict, Eugen had abandoned his aristocratic lifestyle. Using his power and influence, he delivered medical supplies and other needed items into the war-torn region. On one tragic occasion, Eugen's sister Anastasia accompanied him on what would result in a deal gone bad. Eugen was fatally wounded. Just another soldier burst in and apprehended the saboteurs. Anastasia, who had been in another room, believed that the soldier had destroyed both her brother and his supposedly peaceful contacts. The Baroness was now set on a course of revenge that would lead her into a life of student radicalism and international terrorism. The Baroness is a highly intelligent and ambitious individual that led her to the ranks of Cobra, rising to its top intelligence. Aged, she was severely burned during a Cobra 9 attack operation and has had extensive plastic surgery. Her relationship with Distro calls into question her true loyalties
most dangerous agent within Cobra. She is ultimately loyal only to herself and serves Cobra only because it is in her best interest to do so. She has an unrelenting hatred towards established governments that she believes are ruled by military machines. Since G.I. Joe is the best of the best in the military world, she despises Joe's most of all. Her principal weakness is in the division of her loyalty between Cobra Commander and Destro. Her companion, her chief strength, would seem to lie in her ability to play them against each other. I despise the G.I. Joe team. Who do they think they are? Why do they think they're so special? And they dress so badly. The G.I.